Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation.
Agun Erev Shabbos Parshas Vayeishev Tavshin Pei Gimel. In this week's Lechtich Achrai, we discussed whispers from within. The author from Kelm brings a mashal of a wood chopper that was tirelessly chopping away wood in the forest. Focused and immersed on his work, he suddenly realized that the darkness grew thick and he was stuck in the midst of this never-ending forest, humongous trees, and he started hearing the growling stomachs of lions and all the beasts that were around him, and he thought he was finished. And it started to rain and pour and thunder, and he thought he was going to die. He thought that there was no hope. And suddenly, there was a bolt of lightning that lit up the entire sky. And from that moment where he thought everything was over, that moment specifically was the moment where everything became clear. There was a ray of light. There was a moment of clarity. And with that, he was able to run out of the forest and save his life. And the author from Kelm says that we too so many times feel despondent, lost, and despair. And we have to look out for those seconds, those moments of light, of hope, those rays of the nechama, the better times at the end of the tunnel. And Hashem sends them, and sometimes they may come at wit's end when we feel like we can handle no more. But they come eventually at some point, and we have to look out for those and become mechuzik, become strengthened, and become better from them. There's a famous Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Amar Yeshua ben Levi, B'chol yom v'yom b'askal yitzis me'acharev u'machrezes v'yimeres oy lahem l'bias me'al ben shel Torah. This is a very famous Chazal where Yeshua ben Levi tells us that there's a baskel that goes out from Hacharev every day saying, "Woe unto mankind for their laxity towards the Torah." And he cries for how we're misrashal, how we lack, how we're not living up to our potential in learning Torah. And the question is, here too there's a baskel, there's a hidden voice, there's seemingly a ray of light, a silent sound that's screaming out from Hacharev, but asks the Baal Shem Tov, what help is there for the baskel if we can't hear it? We're not near Hacharev. We're wherever we may be, in Muncie, Lakewood, Chicago, Toronto, even by the Kaisel. But seemingly we're not hearing that baskel at Hacharev. So why does Hashem send it? And obviously Hashem doesn't do it for naught. So what's the purpose of it? So the Baal Shem Tov explains that baskel flickers, it reverberates within the neshamas of each and every yid. And it's our job to tap into, to be mechuzek, to draw inspiration from that baskel, and realize when we hear that little voice inside telling us, you can do better, you can do more, you have greater potential, you shouldn't be wasting so much time, you can become greater, you can become better, you have more yichelis, you have more to do, more to accomplish. That's the baskel from Hacharev. And it's our job to tap into it and to grow from it. The Sefer Mishchas Shemen tells us that in this week's parasha we find the same idea as well. The Shvatim wanted to kill Yosef. They said, Hinech bal hachalomes hazeh ba. Here comes a dreamer. Let's kill him. We'll throw him into one of the pits and we'll tell Yaakov, Tarv Yosef, that a wild beast came and devoured him. But Reuven protested and he said, no, let us not take his life. Let's throw him into one of the pits, but we mustn't kill him. And the Hafla in his Sefer Panim Yafis asks the obvious question, why was it specifically Reuven from all of the Shvatim that had this epiphany, that had this insight, that had this protest? He felt so strongly about saving Yosef. What was it that he felt, that he was inspired on Yosef's behalf? So the Baal Flaw brings down the famously quoted story. It's brought down in Tainis Chaf Aleph, that Ilfa and Rav Yochanan, they were chavusas, and they became pressed for money. And they said, let's go talk, let's handle some business. So they sat under this rickety wall, and they were eating bread, and they were discussing the future, they were discussing how they were going to go about. And there were malachim by the wall, and Rav Yochanan overheard one malach say to the other, let's knock this wall down. How could it be that they, Rav Yochanan and Ilfa, they were going to abandon the Kosei Beis HaMedrash and go and invest themselves in temporary life, in chaye, sha'ah, in fleeting pursuits of money, of gashmius, when they could be sitting in the Beis HaMedrash, steiging and learning more Torah. And they said, for that, the malachim told each other, one malach said to the other, let's kill them. And the other malach said, no, we can't do that. Why? Because one of them is destined for greatness. And he's going to eventually achieve greatness, and therefore we can't kill him. And the Gemara continues that Rav Yochanan heard all of this. He heard the conversation between the malachim, and Ilfa did not hear it. Rav Yochanan asked Ilfa afterwards, he said, Ilfa, did you hear those malachim? Did you hear what they were going to say? Did you hear that they said one of us is going to become great? And Ilfa said, no, I didn't. And Rav Yochanan said, since it was I who heard those malachim talking, it must be that I'm the one whose achievement stands before me. It must be I who's destined for godless, for greatness, for tzidkus. And the Gemara says, Kach Hava, Rav Yochanan went back to Beis Medrash, and not only did he steig, did he vaksois to become the great Rosh Yeshiva that he was, but even in financial endeavors, he became greater than Ilfa as well, even though Ilfa went out to work. And the Haflah says that from this Gemara we see this idea that when there's a baskel, when there's something niggling, when there's something tugging inside, we have to capitalize, we have to grab it and grow. And that's pshat, why Reuven as well, how Reuven as well, knew to save Yosef Atzadik. Because Rashi tells us that there was a baskel that went out outside when the Shvatim wanted to kill Yosef. And the baskel said, we are going to see whose words are fulfilled. Meaning, although it was the Shvatim that wanted to kill Yosef, the baskel came and said, whose ultimate ratzon is going to be carried out, referring to Hashem's ratzon. And the next pasuk goes on and says, Vayishma Reuven. Reuven heard that. What did he hear, asks the Haflah. And he answers, it was that baskel. It was that baskel saying that there was ratzon Hashem standing in the way. There was ratzon Hashem that had to be carried out, that had to be executed. Reuven knew it was incumbent upon him. If he was the one that heard it, Vayishma Reuven, if he was the one that heard it, it was a message directed towards him, and he had to make sure that that was going to happen, that was going to be the ultimate outcome of the scenario, and for that he protested on behalf of Hashem, knowing that this was his ratzon. And the lesson, of course, that we can draw from here, that we can take out from here, is that although we're not at Har Charev, and likely we're never going to go there, but every single day that baskel goes out and it says, Oy lehem l'bayna shel Torah, and we feel it all the time. We know friends, family, ourselves. Something's talking to us from a deeper source. It's not a text message, it's not a phone call, it's not our friend, it's not a chavusa. It's the baskel, deep down inside, and it's telling us, Yaakov, Chaim, Leah, Chana, whoever it may be, you can do better, you can do more. Yid, Neshama, you can do more, you can do better. And we have to realize that it's real, and realize that it's Hashem sending us a message. And we shouldn't just squash it, step on it, ignore it. When we have that spark of inspiration, we should chap it around. We should use it as a stepping stone to become greater, to become closer to the Bnei Shalom and to do His ratzon. And especially during Chanukah. Chanukah is right around the corner, in a couple of days. It's a time where Yavin wanted to take over. It's a time where the Sitra Achra took over, and we have to go with the darach of the Chashmonaim, with the darach of Ruchnis, with the darach of Torah, and realize that there's one truth, that there's one emes, and realize that when we live that type of life, a life of real happiness, of real truth, when we let the neiros of Hanukkah help us recalibrate, refocus, and reassess our priorities, Mirz Hashem, we should all grow together, and we should be Zeicha and Mirz Hashem to tackle those neiros in their proper place in the Beis Mikdash B'Karav Mamish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.